Welcome back, ladies, to the Work in Real Time episode 13. It is April the 15th. My name is Alicia, and I am a holistic health coach who supports women in creating lives that feel sustainable, nourishing, and grounded. Today, I want to talk about something that I think is really important. Sometimes coming back slowly still counts. Since my last check-in, I finished the reflection work from Lesson 5 in the bonus module, Black Women, Food, and Body Liberation. And I also started week 2 with the video lesson, Reducing Food Stress Without New Rules. And I have to say, that message landed at exactly the right time for me, because this past stretch has not looked neat. It has not looked structured. It has not looked like the kind of week where everything lines up. And there were a lot of days of eating out, eating late, and days where hydration felt harder than usual. There was no strength training last week, no walking after meals, and my schedule felt off enough that I could feel that old voice trying to come back in. That old voice that says, you're getting off track, you're messing up, you're failing your health. And what I'm noticing is that voice still shows up, but it doesn't hold me the way it used to. That is one of the biggest shifts I'm seeing right now. Because in the past, one-off scheduled week could have easily turned into months of me thinking, oh, well, I already messed up. And then continuing down what I used to think of as the destructive path until one day I decided I needed to start over. But now I am really beginning to love this ideal of never starting over again. Just continuing, noticing, and pivoting. That feels so much more peaceful and so much more sustainable. I've also been working on hydration. For the most part, it has been going okay. But this last week was more challenging. I got busy. It was harder to stay on top of it. And I noticed the temptation to turn that into failure too. But instead, I just tried to do my best each and every day and let that be enough. No punishment or spiraling. Just okay. That didn't go how I wanted. Let me adjust. That feels like growth to me. And the same thing happened with food. Because even though I had several late meals and ate out more often than usual, I also noticed something really important. I did not like the way I felt, not from a place of guilt, but from awareness. Eating that late caused heartburn for me, as well as intense night sweats, and that was useful information. Because I'm learning more and more that awareness and punishment are not the same thing. I can notice that something doesn't feel good without turning it into a shame story. And I think that is one of the biggest gifts of this work. As I moved through the reflection questions from Lesson 5, what kept standing out to me is how much of this journey is about learning the difference between awareness and rules. For so many years, I thought being aware meant being stricter, more disciplined, calculated, and on top of every bite, moment, and choice. But what I'm learning now is that true awareness is softer than that. It sounds like, how did that feel? What does my body need now? What would support me today? What can I learn from this without attacking myself? And that is very different from the way I used to move. Another thing I'm seeing more clearly is that healing sometimes looks like being in an off week and not abandoning yourself. Sometimes it looks like eating late, not feeling great, and still not deciding that everything is ruined. It can also look like foregoing the strength training, not getting the walk in, and still coming back with compassion instead of self contempt. That matters. And honestly, I think that that's the adventure of this journey, not becoming a perfect eater or woman who never has ups and downs, but becoming someone who knows how to stay with herself through all of it. That feels new and freeing. And it also feels interesting to me that the more I let go of the need to perform health perfectly, the more I'm starting to notice that quiet shift. A little more peace, a little less panic around one imperfect week, and a little more trust that I can keep going. I really think that's where peace starts. Not when life becomes perfectly organized, when every meal is ideal, or when every habit is nailed down. But when you begin to believe that one hard week does not erase your progress, it just becomes part of the story. I also want to say that I'm really grateful I moved to doing these videos every other week. That changed has felt much more supportive for me. Doing them weekly started to feel overwhelming with everything else I had on my plate. And I want this series to feel honest and sustainable, not like one more thing I have to force. So this rhythm feels better, and I think that fits the spirit of the work too. Less forcing, more support, less urgency, and more honesty. As I move into week 2, I can already tell this next phase is going to ask something important of me. It is going to ask for more stability, reflection, and softness when things don't go according to plan. And that feels like the exact work I need right now. So, what I'm carrying forward for this check in is this: I do not have to start over every time life gets messy. I can continue, adjust, listen, learn, and keep moving without turning every hard moment into failure. That's where I am right now, a little slower and softer, but still learning, noticing, and coming back. That to me feels like real progress. I'll check back in next time and share what continues to unfold. If you're navigating your own relationship with food, body, or health and would like to learn more about the Empower Her journey or join my free private Facebook group, you can find the information in the links below. And I'll see you next time right here for the work in real time.